and she was heartbroken. He really was the love of her life, but sometimes love's not enough.
The Mercedes-Benz Interview Lounge.
Here he comes, our best friend, your best friend, Rob Shooter. Rob!
Hello. Thanks for having me back. A big announcement today. It's a big day.
We have a big announcement. We got lots going on with Rob. Isn't it funny when Rob walks into the room, everything just turns to like rainbows and lollipops and glitter, everything.
He does bring a good vibe.
Dad, if you can't get Liza Minnelli, call me.
That's it. That's what we heard.
And she says the same about you.
That's exactly
All right, so Rob, of course, naughty but nice. He's a part of the Elvis Duran Morning Show podcast division.
Boom!
That's your announcement today,
That's
right?
our announcement. I've been rolled into the Elvis division, and when I say rolled in, I think I pushed my way in, actually, if the truth be told.
Good job.
So thank you for having me. Now I'm part of, officially, after all these years, or maybe a decade of coming here, I'm officially now part of the crew.
I love that.
Nice.
And truth be told, I mean, you were the original podcaster on our show or around our show. You were the first one.
One of the first ones. It was Garrett that said to do it, and I thought he was ridiculous, and I didn't even know what one of these casty pods were. And I decided to give it a go, and to my surprise and delight, people listened to it. And so now I'm successful. Now you want me. No.
Waited.
I'm so happy to be part of this. And it's a growing division. You have some great people in the group. I feel like I'm at the Oscars, and I want to say I like everybody that I've been nominated with, because this group is a bunch of all-stars.
And then they play the music and take you off the stage.
Right. They roll you off the stage. We have some more announcements coming up for the division, and I can't do it right now, but some big names are coming in to join you.
Yeah, nice.
Do you have Meghan Markle? Who'd you get?
No. Well, let's talk about Meghan Markle. Let's talk about the royals. Watching Meghan Markle's new TV show, what they think about it.
Yeah, so because of the silly accent, I have a lot of sources within the palace. So that place has 100, 200 people working there, which is great for people like me because they all gossip like gooses. And so I know several people within the palace, and they told me, despite the sort of official statement that the royals are too busy to watch Meghan's new show, my sources tell me they are watching it like hawks. Of course they are. They are watching it. And there's a little bit of meanness here. I think some people in the palace would like her to fail. Some people are still sort of rooting for her a little bit, but they can't turn away. And I was thinking about it like in my own family. My sisters that annoy me, if they had their own TV show, I'd be the first to watch.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so they're all watching. So within the palace, we now know that the royal family are tuning in. Meghan, if you're listening, hello.
Isn't it just like they say with radio? If you love someone, maybe you listen for 20, 25 minutes, but when you hate them, you listen to the whole show to find out what you hate the most about them.
In magazines, in the world that I'm from, in the gossip world, love and hate are the only emotions that matter, and hate is more powerful. I hate that, everybody. I don't like that. But if you really don't like somebody, you're probably going to click the story. If you love somebody, you will click to indifference is where you die, and nobody, including everybody in this room, is indifferent about Meghan. We all have our opinions about her. I wish her well. She's got part 2, so royals, if you're listening, hello, Charles. Hello. You've got another 8 episodes coming. So
do you think they have popcorn and wine, and they all gather around to watch?
You know, it's not quite as glamorous as one thinks. I know that they live quite humbly within a palace, but they have all these empty rooms.
Humbly in a palace,
and they are stuck in a corner. And, you know, there's famous stories about the Queen being quite frugal, and during the winter, because it's a dusty old place, it's quite cold, she had a space heater plugged in. I know.
What?
And they often eat dinner out of Tupperware, so I imagine them all round the little TV, an old-fashioned TV, you know, not a new one, not a flat screen, and they're watching Meghan while eating out of their Tupperware.
I mean, come on. You watch The Crown. We know how they live.
That's the whole royal family.
I remember I was watching The Crown once, and they went to a shot of everyone in the kitchens at Buckingham Palace preparing a meal, and they showed a little mouse running around one of the tables. I don't know if you saw that.
They're renovating the palace right now. It's not been renovated for like 100 years, so it's not quite as glamorous as what you might think.
Right.
Remember Meghan said that when she married into the family, and Oprah came to visit. Oprah couldn't believe how they were living, and not in a good way.
Right.
Wow.
Well, there you go. All right, let's move on. Rob, of course, Rob Shooter is here. Naughty but nice Rob, and we have a list of incredible things you want to cover. Let's talk about our mutual friend Wendy Williams.
I love Wendy.
Wendy.
Is there a chance they can spring her out of that joint and she can get a TV show again?
Yeah, I think that's going to happen. So Wendy has been doing some appearances. Yesterday, she was on with our friend Rosanna Scotto.
She'll be on The View.
She called in, doing The View on Friday.
Yeah.
And so I'm told Wendy has a really good chance now of ending this conservatorship. What's going to really help her is yesterday she took a mental health test, a cognitive test, and she passed with flying colours. So I think Wendy's in a good place. Anybody that has spoken to Wendy, including Rosanna, will say she's back.
So
she's back.
Why do you think this was happening? We're hearing rumors that she has no money left. So why would these people be controlling her? They're not going to get anything out of it.
If she had no money left, they wouldn't be paying $18,000 a month to keep her in this facility. Wendy's paying to be in this facility. And also, too, let's be honest here, and we know this from Britney Spears, a conservator does get an income, and that's legal. They're not stealing. If you're a conservator, you can bill for your services. So the conservator's making money. This fabulous hotel / building that she's staying in is making money. But it was so encouraging yesterday because I'm Team Wendy all the way.
Yeah.
I had several different producers from big networks call me saying there's already a bidding war. They want Wendy back. If she can do it, maybe we're being a little bit premature now, but can you imagine Wendy back
That'd be amazing.
on TV?
Well, it would be amazing,
So awesome.
but
Slowly.
but in a guarded way.
Yes,
you know?
slowly,
Yeah.
slowly. And that's her at her happiest. All the times I've gone out with Wendy, dancing or out on a night, she's happier when the cameras are on. Wendy at her best was an hour at 10 o'clock every morning on that show.
Yeah.
She
Sitting on
lives
that
for
throne.
this. Sitting on that
Yeah.
purple
Absolutely.
throne. Wendy could be back.
Yep.
Hey, so yesterday Danielle was reporting how Jennifer Garner's boyfriend, husband,
John
was
Miller.
pissed off because she's taking all these cuddly photos with Ben Affleck.
Yep.
I was listening. I heard you, Daddy. I was nodding away on that treadmill.
What's going on with them?
And
What's going on with them?
Ben, I think, would like to get back, maybe with Jennifer Garner. He's the rebound guy. He got back
really
with
is.
J-Lo. Like, he's the rebound guy. However, I hit the phones and my Jennifer Garner, you have to be careful because there's two Jennifers. My sources are saying, he ain't getting back. She knows who he is. She loves him. He'll always be part of the family. They have those beautiful children together. And she's a good person. She doesn't want to just abandon someone, but she also not stupid. She knows who Ben is, and she wishes him the best, and she will always be there to help him. But he's not coming back. And let's be clear, she has a really cute boyfriend that she's been with for a really long time.
Yeah.
He's out of the spotlight, and I think she likes that too. So Ben's almost that ex that you just can't shake off.
But she seems to me like she's the girl next door. Like, she doesn't like all the bells and
doesn't do
whistles.
it.
She'd rather be without makeup, unless she has to be glamorized for something. But she's just, even with her cooking show, her fake cooking show that she did, she's just the girl you want to be friends with.
She's the greatest.
Yeah.
Like, she's the greatest. And she doesn't go to red carpet events that are not her movies or her premieres. She's not out at Nobu or all these fancy sort of celebrity restaurants, the Ivy. She lives a really lovely life. And unfortunately for her, the father of her children happens to be Ben Affleck, who does enjoy a little bit of attention. I think we can all agree here.
Sure.
But they're not back together. You're going to hear these stories for weeks. I promise you, your best friend Rob told you they are not back together. It's not happening.
Okay. They say that ever since he is a single guy, he's actually happier than ever. That's
Yeah,
what
which
I'm
I
hearing.
think's a bit of a dig to J-Lo. Like, when you move on, if you get divorced and suddenly you're happier than you've been in years, that's not
Says a
the
lot.
nicest thing to sort of say.
I was sad, though. Were you not sad? Because
felt-
I thought like that was the fairy tale. Like, she had pined for him for so long, and they finally found each other again. And it just, it didn't last long at all, did it?
When I worked with J-Lo, they broke up for the first time. I wrote their breakup statement that was issued to the press, and she was heartbroken. He really was the love of her life, but sometimes love's not enough. Like, they've got to be compatible. And Jennifer and Ben, were not compatible. But I think her heart's probably still broken. I'm sure these photographs with his ex-wife, Jennifer Garner, are not fun to watch here. But don't worry about J-Lo. She's going to be just fine. I'm told she's getting ready to maybe even go back out on the road and do the big greatest hits type tour, which she cancelled about a year ago, playing maybe smaller venues. But I'd love to see J-Lo back out on stage.
Interesting.
Go ahead, Gandhi.
Do you have any idea what it was that broke the two of them up? Because there have been so many rumors, especially with all this stuff coming out about former boyfriends of hers. Any inside info on that?
I think it's very difficult for two people who are that successful and that alpha to sort of be compatible. Relationships are really hard. Can you imagine being married to one of the biggest stars in the world, which they both were? They both are superstars. I also think, too, that Jennifer probably didn't read the room, and the Ben that she wanted was not quite the reality, and he is who he is, and he's been honest about his struggles, and you want to support people and be kind, but it's difficult. Okay. It's really difficult. So I would imagine, and let's be clear too, it's hard being Mr. J-Lo, which every person's going to be. A-Rod, every person that she meets. I don't think I can think of another celebrity that maybe is as big as her. Who's bigger than J-Lo? Maybe Beyonce or Taylor Swift, but it's not. I can't think of a male celebrity. And so I think it must be very difficult for Ben, who certainly is an alpha male, to be in the shadow of somebody as big as Jennifer. I want her to find love. I love her. But I do know too here, she does get a lot of love out of her career. That is very important for her.
I guess when you're going to be dating or married to someone who is in love with their career, you have to understand that going in.
I say it to my Bruce every day, darling. Every day.
Bruce has learned how to live with it. All right, let's talk about who's going to play the new 007. If it's who you think it is, I am going to... It'll be like watching a porn for me.
Which is really what 007's about. It's very sexy. It's very erotic. Who can forget Daniel Craig walking out of the ocean in those tight little swimming shorts? And so I'm told that now it's been sold. So the franchise now has a new owner. Jeff Bezos now owns.
And you heard what happened? He got Barbara Broccoli kicked out.
He did but he got her kicked out for $6 billion. Yeah. So Barbara sold. Barbara Broccoli, the Broccoli family, was in charge of Bond for the last 60 years, since the beginning of the movies. And now that has been sold to Jeff Bezos. They're looking around. There's a couple of criteria. One, they would like him to be British. James Bond is a British agent after all. They want them to be in about their 40s, because they hope when you sign on, they've got a good 10 years out of you. They don't want to keep changing bonds. And so they're thinking 10 years in advance. If you're 40 now, by the time you retire, you'll be 50. You could probably still be an agent. And the name that I keep hearing over and over and over again.
Say it.
Theo James.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, my God.
Who you know from White Lotus.
Wow.
And it's perfect. It's perfect because he's 40 years old.
Yes, yeah.
And so he has a good 10 years left in him.
He's got some stuff. I was going to say Elvis Duran.
He's cute.
You would be a great 007 Elvis Duran.
Okay, look, I love Theo James. I can't wait till the second run of Gentlemen comes out.
Oh, that's a good show.
Oh, yeah, it's so good.
He's so hot in it.
Yep.
But I still think they should consider someone of color to play 007.
Yeah.
I think so.
A good idea. I think so too. I even thought I would like to see a Jane Bond, I think. But I do think whenever Jeff Bezos has bought a franchise like Lord of the Ring, we will see a lot of spin-offs. And so the way that he's going to make his $8 billion back is not by releasing one movie every 3 years. We're going to have the backstory. We're going to have the backstory of the villains. We're going to know how Mr. Goldfinger became Mr. Goldfinger. So
That's why he said he bought it, because he wants to do spin-offs and he wants the control.
That's
He
what
better
it is.
cast himself as a supervillain, because he is
Yeah.
physically turning into one, and he
Seriously.
actually is one.
What
So
about
he-
Lauren
he
Sanchez
really-
as a Bond girl?
Oh, God.
Well, he should always have a cat with him.
Yes,
Yes.
he does. He looks like he is turning into Dr. Evil. It's crazy.
So
All right.
Theo, if you're listening, we're all for it here. Thumbs up, thumbs up.
All right, give us a blind item. By the way, blind items are my favorite because, well, it's going to be a rumor about someone, but he can't say who it is because he doesn't want to get his ass sued off. So
Thank you very much.
but they won't sue us for saying it.
That's right. You can say whoever you can have a guess.
Okay.
Okay.
I
So
can't
who do you
confirm
have?
you can have a guess. So which big TV star with a very wholesome image is behind the scenes a little less wholesome and is having an affair with somebody on his staff. Now, we should say he's single. So when I say an affair, it's really an undercover relationship, but they are dating. And that's very tricky. If you're listening and you're dating somebody that you work with, I'm looking at you, Gandhi.
That's right.
It's a little bit tricky, isn't it, with human resources and everything.
Yeah.
So very, very straight-laced TV anchor, maybe in the evening.
But wait a second. You also says he has a signature catchphrase.
He does have a signature catchphrase. He does. And if I
So he says the same thing when he says good night every night.
They end or start the show in the same way, which is not that unusual. Who is it? Who is a big TV star who's having...
It is? Who?
Go.
Ryan Seacrest.
Oh, I would never dare do that in the house of iHeart. I would be escorted out of the podcast division quicker than I got in. Kicked out of the family. Don't mess with Ryan, not at the iHeart.
All right, we got to think this through.
Yeah.
You know, speaking of... Go ahead.
I have one more question before we go, but go ahead.
Well, no, but we've got to figure out who this is.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to start Googling.
I have no idea.
All right, we're going to get back to you on that. We're going to think about that one. Hey, what's your question?
I want to know if the rumors are true. Amal and George Clooney, are they on the rocks?
No, they're so in love. I actually saw them a few nights ago. They were having dinner in New York. So George has moved to New York to start this play. He's doing a play at the Winter Garden Theatre. It's selling out. So if you want to get a ticket, get one now. Unfortunately, I think the price is about $600 or $700 a ticket. Wow. George is going to end up being the highest paid Broadway star of all time, because not only
that's cool though.
It's huge.
I would love to see him on stage.
I can't wait, Elvis. You can buy the tickets, Elvis. I'll go with you. We'll get to. Thank you very much. And so, like, they're a little bit expensive, but George is in New York with Amal, with the kids. They are so happy. Everything that I've seen about them or heard about them, they're the real deal. And he took a long time to settle down. So no, and I'm glad that story is nonsense.
Me too.
George, although he did dye his hair, he's no longer a silver fox. For the play, it looks like Just for Men. He's gone a little bit brown. Yeah, there's not so many greys.
Okay.
I know. I noticed. George.
Just for Men.
Just for Men.
All right. So back to this news anchor.
Yes.
They start or finish with the same phrase every night, so that would probably be a nightly news type thing.
Look at you, Inspector Clouseau. Who do you think, Sherlock?
I don't know. I don't know if they're single or not, but I would like Lester Holt.
Oh, married, not Lester. Oh, but it's a good guess.
David.
You might
on ABC.
I would not know. I would. Let's keep going.
Okay. So not him for sure.
Well, I didn't say.
I think we should stop guessing.
Okay,
there.
we'll stop guessing.
I
didn't
love
even
your
start
blind items.
guessing.
The worst I did.
We love your blind items. We love Naughty But Nice, Rob. And of course, now a member of the Elvis Duran podcast division.
I'm going to be so rich, Elvis. Thank you. It's a generous salary.
Let me know when that money starts pouring in.
The Mercedes-Benz Interview Lounge.